Hey everyone, French Tutor here. Today we're going to talk about these convenes or these wish banners. So if you're coming from gacha games like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, or Zenless Zone Zero, you probably know how these work already. But if you're new to gacha games, this is probably very confusing. So I just wanted to make a guide like this, like a beginner's guide for people who haven't played those kind of games, right? So yeah, I wanted to teach you some tips and tricks, how to save up currencies, and just yeah, like how to just go about your wishes efficiently. So yeah, let's get started. Let me first briefly go over all the banners first. Okay, so first let's talk about the first two main types of banners. There's something called your standard banners, which is permanent banners and nothing will really change. And then there's your limited event banners, and you can tell on the top left of each icon it says event. And these are temporary banners. So these banners will last about 3 weeks usually. You're going to have one standard banner where you could summon 5-star characters, and one standard weapon banner where you can summon 5-star weapons. For the event banners, usually you have one event character and one event weapon, but now that the game is progressing, now they're running 2 characters and 2 of their respective weapons. So you'll probably usually see around like 6 or 7 banners. I'm actually going to talk about this novice and this beginner choice banner at the end of this video because these are very temporary and the general rules don't really apply to these banners, but I do want to talk about these definitely. So if this is what you're looking for in this video, I would go to the timestamp at the end of the video and I'll show you how to like efficiently go about these banners. And there's actually one more banner after this actually, so I have to show you that as well. So if you want, you can just check at the end of the video. On this banner, you can get 3-star weapons, 4-star characters and weapons, and the standard 5-star characters. On the standard character banner, yes, you can get Encore, Genshin, and Lingyang. They're kind of featured in the front of this banner, but it doesn't mean that you can only get these characters. The 5-star standard characters are Verena, Encore, Kakaro, Lingyang, and Genshin. So if you get lucky, you can get these 5 characters, or if you need these characters, you can summon them here. On the weapon banner, you get to actually choose which weapon you want to have, and you can pick between from swords, broad blades, pistols, gauntlets, and rectifiers. And if you need to see like what each one does, you can just click here on the top right magnifying glass, and then you can kind of see the stats and everything. So yeah, these are all your choices. You're going to get 3-star weapons, 4-star weapons and characters on this banner, and 5-star weapons. On the limited event banners, it's gonna be the character in the front. You're gonna see this is the featured 5-star character for this banner, and this character Zhang Liao is going to be featured on this banner. And then they also have like some 4-star characters that have higher rates of getting. And the same goes for the limited weapon banners as well. You get a featured weapon, the string master here, and the varieties handle, and then again there's a few 4-star weapons that have higher rates as well. On these limited banners, you're going to get 3-star weapons, 4-star weapons and characters, and 5-star limited characters, but also 5-star standard characters, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. It gets a little complicated, but I'll show you later. Okay, now let's talk about the different types of currencies you can use to pull for characters. By the way, I keep saying pull. It's just a general gacha term like pull, wishing, summoning for characters and weapons. But in this game, they call it convening. But yeah, I'm going to be using like those words a lot, pretty much. Okay, anyways, let's start off with astrites. So astrites are the most valuable currency you're going to have simply because it works on all the banners. You get these from doing your dailies, you get them from event rewards, doing quests, they come out in chests, you're going to get a lot, not a lot, but you can get these in a lot of different places, yeah. So just save these up as much as you can because these are super valuable. And a general rule of thumb is that you actually want to save these for the event banners, because usually the event banner characters and weapons are much better and more, they make the characters more appealing and whatnot. So generally people save the asteroids for the event banners. But we'll talk more about that later too, like when we talk about developing good gacha habits. The next currency is called Lustrous Tides, and these are used for the standard banners. You get them from like event rewards, the Pioneer Podcast, the Battle Pass, and then rewards for completing tasks throughout the game. Okay, now the next two types of currencies are very rare. The next one is called Radiant Tides, and these are used for the limited character banners. These are more rare than the previous Lustrous Tides we just talked about. They're usually very hard to get. You might get them from like completing certain tasks throughout the game. And also, if you do get it from the Pioneer Podcast, you actually have to pay for it to get these. So yeah, that's how rare they are. And you definitely want to save up these as much as you can. Okay, and the last currency is something called Forging Tides. These are used for the limited weapon banners. These are a little bit different. You don't really get them like when you play throughout the game. I'm going to actually show you later how to get these in. There's like a separate shop here. I'll show you how to get these a little after when I'm explaining about the shops. Okay, now you know all the currencies. One thing I do have to mention is that these asteroids, usually what happens is you're going to convert these asteroids into these tides, okay? So 160 asteroids equals 1 tide. So you can think of it as 160 asteroids is one like pull or summon or convene. So just an example here, let's say I want to like summon on this banner and I click on this, right? So it's going to tell me already 1 lustrous tide is required. Do you want to convert it pretty much into, from like 160 asteroids, right? And then if I do a 10 pull, it's gonna say 10 lustrous tides required, and then the conversion is 1,600, right? Okay, so let's actually talk about how these banners work. Oh, and just wanted to mention, the standard and limited banners are a bit different, and these are some general banner rules, so keep that in mind. Let's first talk about the drop rates. So basically, let's say that we just pull one time, right? So we're gonna convene one time. So what the drop rates look like is that you have a 93.2% of getting a 3-star weapon. It's the highest rate you're most likely going to get this, a 3-star weapon. And the drop rate for a 4-star character or a weapon is only 6%. And the drop rate for a 5-star character is at 0.8%, and I believe that is kind of low. And the average drop rate is going to be 1.8. Okay, your odds don't seem that good here, but there's something called pity. So pity is a pretty important word when you're wishing and stuff. Pity is pretty much you wish a certain amount, and then the game will kind of give you a 4-star or 5-star character. So the good news is that from this line here, so every 10 pulls you do, you are guaranteed a 4-star weapon or a character. So that's why a lot of people like doing 10 pulls, because you're pretty much guaranteed something, right? And for 5-star characters, that pity is going to be 80 pulls, okay? So if you pull 80 times, right, you are guaranteed a 5-star character. So that's a really good thing. That means like you don't have to do like 150 pulls or 160 pulls or something to get one 5-star character or weapon, right? Okay, and visually, I want to show you what it looks like to get like a 3-star or 4-star or 5-star character or weapon. So let's say just on this banner, I've never pulled on this banner yet, but let's try just one convene. All right, so here we go. So getting a 3-star anything is just gonna look like this white star here. Nothing special about the animation. Okay, so I'm just gonna try a 10 pull on this limited banner to show you what a 4-star looks like. Or maybe I might get a 5-star, but let's give it a shot. So pretty much a 4-star is going to look purple like this. I got a 4-star character. That's why it's purple. Alright, let's go. Alright, and a 5-star looks gold like this. Okay, now this is really important because this information is not actually here. It's kind of like an unspoken rule that people developed playing this game and other gacha games. There is something called soft pity in this game. So this 80 pulls for 5-star characters is called a hard pity. So yeah, exactly 80, you're guaranteed a 5-star. But what soft pity is, once you get closer to 80 summons, the game starts to be a little more lenient with your pulls. It almost feels like the drop rate actually increases actually. And in this game, I believe someone did a lot of research for this, and they found that around, I believe the number is around 67 is when the drop, after like 67 pulls, the drop rate increases. So what happens is, like, let's say you're at 65 pulls, right? And then you do a 10 pull and you get to 75. There is a very high chance you're going to get a 5-star then. And for me, that has been the case actually. I've never gone past 75 pulls. I always get my characters like, yeah, before 75, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've been playing this game for, yeah, almost half a year, I think. And yeah, I've never gone to hard pity in my life. So yeah, so you need to know about soft pity. And I'm going to explain a little bit later how that affects your pulls towards the end of the videos with more tips and tricks on how to like pull on these banners. And one more thing to mention about drop rates is that every character or weapon has an equal drop rate. So for example, again, we mentioned that a 5-star character's drop rate is 0.8%. But that means all these 5 standard banner 5-star characters all have an equal chance of getting pulled. So for example, Verena, you don't have higher chances of getting Verena over any of these other characters. And the same thing goes with 4-star weapons and characters. You don't have any higher chances. And 3-star weapons as well. All the same drop rates. Okay, so how do we count how many wishes you did so that you can make sure where you are on your pity count? So what you want to do is, oh, I actually have to switch over to a different account because I didn't do any polls on that account yet. But pretty much, I'm going to show you right here, right now. I'm actually going to go to my weapon banner here. And what you want to do is you want to click on this 4th icon here on the bottom left. Hopefully my cam is not blocking it, but you should be able to see it here. Let's click on this. And then from here, you'll have a history of all your polls. And on the top here, you can pick which banner's history you want to see. So right now we're looking at the standard weapon banner right now, and then so now you can see all the polls I did and it'll tell me the date as well. So there's going to be 5 things you pulled on one page. So all you have to do is count 5 times how many pages you have. So this is 5, next page 2, so that's going to be 10 pulls, right? So 5 plus 5 is going to be 10. And that's pretty much it. See how many pages of 5s you have. So if I go here, I can see that, so this gold text represents a 5-star weapon or character, right? So since it's not all the 5 things here before getting a 5-star weapon, I'm just actually going to go to the previous page, and you can see I have 5 pages, so I'm going to multiply that by 5. So 5 times 5, 25, right? And then there's 3 extra pulls here, plus 3, that's going to be 28 pulls that I did. So now I'm about like 52 away from the 80 hard pity. So yeah, that's how you would do it. You would just go down here and then just count how many pulls you had. And last thing to note is that these 2 standard banners, the character banner and the weapon banner, they have separate pity counts. So if I pull 60 times on the character banner, I won't have a pity count of 60 on here. So I can pull a 5-star character in about 20 pulls, but here it's gonna be a separate count for itself. Okay, but now limited banners are a little bit different, so let me show you real quick. Let's talk about the limited character banner first. Pretty much the general rules still apply. The 5-star drop rate is 0.8, and then 4 stars are 6, and then 3-star weapon drops are 93.2%. The 4-star pity is the same as well. Every 10 pulls, you'll get a 4-star, you're guaranteed one. And you are guaranteed a 5-star character every 80 pulls as well. But now here's the main difference, and you have to remember this because this is very important. Once you get a 5-star character, like within or 80 pulls, you have a 50% chance of getting the featured 5-star character. Only 50%. You are not guaranteed Yinlin actually, or whoever is the featured character. The other 50% is that you may get a random standard banner 5-star character. So yes, it kind of sucks, but that's how gacha works. So yeah, you are not guaranteed that character. So you might just end up getting a different character, which is odd. This concept of 50% 50% is called 50-50. So you're going to hear people saying like, I won the 50-50 or I lost the 50-50. So yeah, that's where the term 50-50 comes from. So let's say you lose the 50-50 and you don't get the featured 5-star character. What happens then is your pity count will reset to 0, but now that the next within 80 pulls, you are guaranteed the featured 5-star character. So now your next 5-star on that banner, you're going to get the featured character. So I guess that's some good news. Okay, so that was the most important thing about this banner, about the limited banners. One more thing I want to mention is that the drop rates are a little bit different for the 4-star characters and weapons if it's a weapon banner. Pretty much you can see right here it says up next to the 4-star characters where it has increased drop rates. So let's say every 4-star item you obtain, there's a 50% chance that it's going to be one of the featured 4-star characters. So on this banner, you can see these 3 characters right here you have a higher chance of getting them. Okay, now for the limited weapon banners. The general rules are pretty much the same, the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star drop rates, but the only big difference is that within 80 pulls, you are actually guaranteed the featured 5-star weapon. That kind of sounds normal, but actually in a lot of other games, there's also like a 50-50 situation, or maybe you don't even have that. So this is actually a really good thing about this game, that you are guaranteed the feature weapon within 80 pulls. So yeah, that's kind of like the big difference between the limited character and weapon banners. Okay, and the final thing is, how do the pity counts work? So pretty much, the limited character banners will share the same pity. So let's say I do like 20 pulls on the Yinlin banner. That pity is actually going to carry over to this banner as well, which is great, right? So you can see here, the guaranteed count is shared among all featured Resonator Convenes event banners. But also, let's say that you don't get Yinlin or Zhang right? Then, as it states here, if you don't obtain them, the guaranteed count is carried over to the new ones, to the new event banners. So you can just kind of, safely just pull on these banners, and then if a new feature character comes out, that pity count will be the same. It won't reset, which is great. But just remember that the characters and the weapon banners are different. So the weapon banners will share the same pity count. And as you can see here as well, the guaranteed count is shared among all featured weapon Convene event banners. And again, if there's a new featured banner for the weapons, then that will share the same count. It won't reset. The same thing I just said with the character banners. So yeah, if you ever need this kind of information again, you just go here on the bottom left. It's the third icon. You just click here and you can see all the drop rates, all the rules for each banner, and everything like that. When you click on the second icon, it does different things for each banner, but basically for the character banners, you'll see like an overview of each character, like their skills and their resonance chain and things like that. On the right, you can pick the other featured characters as well. And for like on the weapon banners, you can see like the weapon stats and whatnot. You can see the 5 stars and the 4 stars on the right here. Okay, now let's talk about subcurrencies. So to talk about them, the easiest way is to just kind of show you what happens. Like when you make a wish, so I'm just gonna do a 10 pull here real quick. You do a wish, and what happens is you get your results, right? And on the right, you see something that says extra rewards, right? So if you click on each of these, you get something called oscillated corals. And you get these oscillated corals from 3-star weapons. And the other one's called Afterglow Corals, and you get these from 4 and 5-star weapons and characters. So what you want to do with these is that you want to click on the bottom left here, the shopping cart. You want to go here, and on the third tab on the left, you'll see something called, again, the Afterglow Corals and the Oscillated Corals. So for this, each tab, with the Afterglow Corals that you get, you can exchange them for tides. And that's what usually for free-to-play players will exchange them for. So once you get enough, I highly recommend getting usually either the Radiant or the Forging Tides, but mostly the Radiant Tides. I would not get the Lustrous Tides. They're not as valuable as these two for summoning for limited banner characters. If you're pay to play, you might be able to afford these. What these are is like copies of characters that make your character stronger. You might be able to afford these, but generally free-to-play players that don't spend money on this game, you're not going to be doing this, and I don't recommend it anyway. They're just not worth it. I think it's better to just get more pulls. These are for like the 5-star characters, and then you can, and there's the 4-star characters here as well, and then you can also actually get like 4-star characters here, but I don't know if it's exactly worth it. Like if you really didn't get these on the banners, maybe if you have enough, you can save up for them. Actually, it does seem pretty worth it though. Like if you really want a 4-star character, so maybe that's something that could be an option for you. But definitely not, like definitely you don't want to spend these Afterglow corals on these tuners. Yeah, it's not worth it. You rather just get these Radiant or Forging Tides. Okay, next up is the Oscillated Coral tab. You're going to get a bunch of these, and pretty much it's going to be the same deal. There's, on this account, the Radiant Tides are not showing up because I bought them already, but you're going to have 7 of each Tides available to you in the store. They're available for about, like, when, I believe, like, when patches reset. So about, like, it's more than a month. Like, maybe, like, 40 days, I think. But yeah, like, during that period of time, you'll get 7 of each, okay? So usually, again, you're going to get the Radiant Tides again. And then, like, if you're trying to get weapons, you can go for this probably second, usually. And then do not, again, like, this resource is kind of limited unless you have like a lot. You can get some Lustrous Tides too, but generally, again, you want to go for the Radiant and Forging Tides. And another tip, definitely you don't really want to get these, but I will tell you they are very tempting to get. Like, you want to level up your characters, and these are like all these like experience mats, just like weapon and skill materials you need to level up things. Like, they're very tempting, like in the moment when you really need to level up your character or your weapons or your skills, but they're not worth it. Just save them up for the Radiant and Forging Tides that you can get per period. And while we're at the store, I just want to explain the third tab. Pretty much, if you want to, you can exchange your astrites into these tides. You don't have to do this, but a lot of people just, just to keep track of how much, like how many tides they have, they like to convert their astrites. But as I showed you before, it automatically converts. The astrites convert to the tides when you're pulling for characters, so you don't have to do this. But if you want to, like, let's say I can with my 7,000 astrites, I can get 44 Radiant Tides back, right? And another pro tip, do not make the mistake of getting these for the standard banner, for the standard character and weapon banner, thinking that you can use these for the limited banners. You cannot, so make sure you don't buy these. People usually get the Radiant Tides, or they'll exchange for the Forging Tides, so Please don't make that mistake. I've seen a lot of people do that in the especially a lot of beginners. So please, yeah, be careful. I really appreciate you watching so far. If you found this video helpful so far, please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment, ask any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Alright, now let's talk about some tips and tricks and how to develop some good gacha habits in this game. Okay, I said this already, but just wanted to point it out one more time. These asteroids, super valuable. You can use them for every banner, and generally people save these for the limited time banners. For the standard banners, only use these lustrous tides when you get them. That's the general rule of thumb though for pulling for this game. And other similar games too, pretty much. Another tip and something to consider, like what is better? Like single pulls or like a 10 pull? And it really depends on the situation and it depends on preference actually. A lot of people just do single pulls and they try to test their luck. Sometimes they feel like their odds are different in a different day or something and they get super lucky and get like a 5-star pretty early on. For 10 pulls, for someone like me, like I like them because like there are a lot of times where I can get multiple like 4 stars or 5 stars and things like that. So it could be a preference, but there is one situation where single pulls are better. So as I mentioned before that there's a soft pity in this game. So it's gonna be around 65 to 67 or whatnot, right? So once you get to that point, right, I can't really show on this account because I didn't pull for anyone yet. But let's say our pity count is around 65, right? Or you could start at 67, up to you. Once you get there, you can start doing single pulls then because you have a higher chance of getting a 5-star character or weapon. So let's say I do like a few single pulls and then maybe on the 70th or 71st pull, I'll get my 5-star, right? But if I do like a 10 pull here, I might I don't want to say waste, but I might be wasting like 4 or 5 extra pulls, especially on a banner where there could be like some rated up 4-star characters that I didn't even want, right? So I would be saving more pulls for the next banner or maybe even the same banner. So generally that is a good way to save some currencies. However, for me, like personally, I just like doing 10 pulls because sometimes you can get really lucky and you can get like multiple 5 stars. Not saying that there's more odds for the second or third 5-star, but it's just a personal preference for me. That's just how I've always been doing it. But on another note though, like for this game, I feel like the odds are much lower. I really haven't gotten multiple 5 stars. I've gotten it's happened to me one time on the weapon banner. I got like 2 weapons in one 10 pull, but that's it. In other games, I've gotten it many times actually. So that is kind of odd that it hasn't happened in this game, but yeah, I'm just digressing right now. So yeah, single pulls, they're super good to do like during soft pity. The soft pity ranges. Another tip, so let's say you have a bunch of these lustrous tides, right? So another question people ask is that should you summon on the standard character banner or the weapon banner? And honestly, the general answer for this game is actually the weapon banner, because one thing is that honestly all of these 5-star standard characters, they're good, right? You will pretty much, like as of today, you pretty much get like 2 to 3 characters that you want if you do these beginner and novice banners, and then the next beginner banner that comes after the novice banner. But like when you start, so you get like these characters, right? But then when you summon on this standard character banner, you're going to get like you're most likely going to get copies of those characters. And honestly, in this game, like the copies you get for these characters, it doesn't do that much for these characters. I feel like it's just not worth it, and I think a lot of people agree. So a lot of people, what they do is they pull on the weapon banner because these weapons, they give a pretty good upgrade and damage to your characters. And if you think about it, let's say you equip a 5-star weapon to a 4-star character, and then they get much stronger, right? That's one cool thing about this, right? And you are guaranteed a weapon. You can even pick which one you want, right? So it's highly recommended that you do spend your lustrous tides on this banner, but unless it's your choice, if you want to try for like a random 5-star standard character and maybe get more copies of them, it is up to you, but that is my advice. Okay, and the last thing, what if you actually don't want the 5-star featured character, but you want one of the 4 stars, right? So let's say you really want Lumi here, right? Like you really want this character, right? But I highly advise that you do not try actively to get a 4-star character if you're free to play. Why? Because the rates are kind of low because there's 2 other characters you're competing with, first of all. And then it also kind of depends on your pity count. What if you have a guaranteed pity for the 5-star character, right? And you're trying to pull for a 4-star character, you end up getting the character you don't want, and then when the next banner comes with the character you do want, your guaranteed pity is gone because you tried to pull for a 4-star character. And that surprisingly happens a lot. Or it could just be like your pity count is very close to hard pity, right? But then you keep building it up, and then somehow instead of getting the 4-star character you wanted, you end up getting a 5-star character you didn't want. So sometimes it's not worth it to try to get the 4-star character. For me personally, I might try like a tent pole or like maybe like 2 tent poles, maybe max, right? But if I was in my like guaranteed pity, right? Like I lost my 50-50 and then I'm in the guaranteed pity mode, right? I would never try to get the 4-star character. I would just wait. Like they will come back and they may be featured in the standard banners too or something, right? Or even in the weapon banners, right? So it's just not worth it. I think it's absolutely not worth risking your guaranteed pities or even like whenever you get close to soft pity for these 4-star characters. Now finally, let's talk about these novice and this beginner choice banners. So let's take a quick look. So this is the novice banner that you get for starting off this game, right? So pretty much you are getting a discount. If you do a tent pole, you only have to use 8 lustrous tides, okay? So technically you just have to pull 40 times and then you are guaranteed a standard 5-star character. It's not just these 3. There's also Kakaro and Verena, by the way. So it's just not those 3. So you are guaranteed these 5. And yes, you should definitely pull on this because you only have to pull 40 times instead of the usual 80 hard pity. But remember, you don't want to use too many asteroids. Like try not to use asteroids on this banner either. Okay, and now we have a beginner's choice banner where you can actually just pick who you want. Yeah, you can actually just select who you want and you can get them. And this is a reward. I'm just going to show you very quickly soon how to do this. But yeah, you can pick a character you want. This is something that didn't come out like from the launch of the game, but like a few, I don't know exactly when, maybe like a week or 2 weeks later, they gave us this option so that we can pick a character we want right off the bat. And that's very generous of this game. Okay, so what you need to do is that you need to pull on this banner first because it's going to be random, okay? So first, what you want to do is you want to summon a random character and then you can choose a character that you didn't get, right? Because if you do this banner first, right, and you choose a character you want and you do this banner second, what if you get the same character? That's not very helpful in the beginning. You want more characters, right? So you can progress faster in the game. So that's why you want to work on this banner first and then pick a character that you didn't get. So that's another tip. And as I told you, there is another banner after this banner. So right now, I'm going to show you step by step how to do this efficiently and save resources, okay? Okay, so what you want to do is first you want to go to the main menu and click this mailbox right here. And you're going to get a lot of rewards when you start off this game. And by the way, this might change like whenever you're watching this video, like your rewards might change. But for now, if I claim all, I'm going to get all these nice materials, right? You get 2,000 asteroids, save these, right? We're going to get 20 lustrous tides. We can use these 20 right off the bat for that novice banner, right? And then you get your voucher for choosing the 5-star character you want, right? So now let's go back to our wish banner screen. All right, so as I told you, with the discount, we just need to do 40 pulls, okay? So first, let's do 2 10 pulls. Oh, and by the way, that you do have to do all of these pulls. Like you have to hit the heart pity on this banner to get the 5-star characters. You're not going to get lucky. You're not going to get a 5-star character within 10 or 20 or 30 pulls on this banner. You have to do the full amount, okay? All right, so let's just do 2 10 pulls right here. Okay, and let's just, for the purpose of this video, we'll skip, right? Okay, and I got Tao Chi. Okay, my second 10 pull. Skip again. Okay, we got Sanhua. All right, now we just need to do 20 more pulls with the discount. Okay, so we get 4 here, right? So what we want to do now is we're going to go to the store. And as I told you, you'll get some afterglow and oscillated corals, right? So we have enough for 1. Honestly, yeah, I told you don't get these, but for this banner, I think it's worth it in the beginning. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite, I'm sorry. But yeah, just get 1 of these for now, right? Because honestly, we want to work on this banner because it's discounted, so why not, right? All right, so, and let's also go here and let's just get enough lustrous tides for ourselves as well. Okay, boom. All right, now we can do another 10 pull. Okay, so this is our third 10 pull. Okay, we'll skip. Okay, I got a Undying Flame, 4-star weapon. Okay, boom. All right, and again, just real quick, let's just check if we can get more. Yeah, let's do 2 more here. Okay, all right. Okay, now we still have to like do these 2 like discounted 10 pulls twice, right? But what we want to do here is you actually want to progress in the game a little more after Act 1, where you're like eating with the characters. You're going to unlock events. So if you press F1 on PC, you'll unlock these events. Okay, so what you want to do is, yes, so if it's your first day, you can claim 1 of these, right? So I'm just gonna claim 1 here. I could claim more, but for this video, I'm just gonna claim 1, right? Okay, and then you go to this tab right here, and you can see that at Union level 5, you can gain 5 more lustrous tides like this, okay? So what you should do is, like, when you unlock events, right? You'll probably be near here, and it's going to explain about simulation training. You would go here, and then pretty much you can use some wave plates, these things right here, to get Union experience, and you will level up to Union level 5. Okay, and then once you hit Union level 5, you want to claim these like this. Okay, so we're gonna claim it. Boom. All right, now if we take a look, okay, now we have 9. Great. Okay, so we're gonna do another pull. Boom. All right, let's skip. All right, a Dauntless Evernight. Good for Tao Chi. Okay, now we just have to do 1 more 10 pull. We need 7 more lustrous tides. Okay, and then the last step, just check again if you can get, okay, I can get 1 more here. Okay, and then the rest, I'm just gonna use my asteroids here. Usually, again, I told you don't use your asteroids unless it's on the limited banners, but for this discounted banner, it's worth it, okay? So I think that's the most efficient way to chip off this banner and just get your first 5-star, okay? So let's see who we get. All right, let's go. All right, and 5-star looks gold like this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna skip here just for the video and see who we got. All right, we got Danjin. All right, and then here, let's see who we get. All right, we got Kakaro, and he's a DPS character. Okay, now for the next step, we're gonna go on the bottom here. Now we can pick the character we want. We can pick exactly who we want, right? So Kakaro's a DPS character, along with Ling Yang and Encore. So I'm set with my DPS, like a main damage dealer, right? Now I want a support. Usually you want a support character, and in this case, most people are going to tell you to get Verena, and I agree. Verena is really good. She's like a really good healer, and she buffs your attacks and damage, right? She's very, very, very good. So I would recommend getting Verena. Like, if you didn't get Verena from the Novice banner, just get Verena here. Yeah, trust me. Genshin is good too. Like, she's like a shielder, and she has like healing capabilities. She's good too. But if you didn't get Verena, definitely I would highly recommend getting Verena. Since I did not get her, I am definitely going to confirm here, and I am going to summon for her right now, so that this account is all set. And boom. So now, again, there's another beginner's choice convene. This actually unlocked when I finished that novice banner, the one where I had to do like 40-50 pulls, right? Same name as the other one, actually. But in this one, you actually can target which 5-star standard banner character you want. And the heart pity here is 80 pulls. Like, you are guaranteed to get the character you want in 80 pulls. So here we can select who we want to eventually get, okay? Who we want to eventually get, and then pull for them. So my advice is this: if there's another character you want, right? Let's say you want maybe Encore, right? Encore is like a really strong DPS here, right? As of today, right? Usually she is the strongest out of Ling Yang and Kakaro, but who knows? Maybe Ling Yang or Kakaro might get new a echo set, like new equipment that might make them stronger. Who knows, right? Just pick someone you like, but just letting you know, Encore is very strong out of this ensemble right here. So if there is a character you want, pull on this banner, because you can choose. And yeah, guaranteed pulls are amazing in this game, right? And just for reference, other games is that you have to make 300 pulls to get the 5-star character you want. 300, okay? So this game lets you do it in 80, which is going to take a while if you're only going to use Lustrous Tides. And again, I don't recommend using your asteroids for this banner either. But yeah, you can chip away this 80 like slowly. So it might take a few months or maybe up to a year, who knows. But it is much faster than 300, right? But if you're like, no, I don't want any of these characters, right? I'm gonna focus on my getting limited characters and like getting weapons for them, then you don't have to. You don't have to summon on this banner. Or you might want to just get 5-star weapons, right? Then you don't really have to do this banner, but I think it's pretty good to work on this banner, actually. There are some good characters here. Like Genshin is really good. She's really good with Zhang Liao, so you might want to pair them up. All right, I think that's it for this video. If I missed anything, I'll leave it down in the pinned comment down below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching my video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment, leave me questions, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. But yeah, I just very thankful that you're watching my beginner videos. Yeah, I'll be making more of these beginner guides, so just make sure to tune in. And yeah, thank you so much. Take care now.